Welcome, but most importantly, folks, I'm well, you but. And as we know, that's a standard Bungi Red River greeting taken directly from Cree. I want to welcome each and every one of you to another segment of the Bungi Beat. People have asked, why talk about Bungi, the Red River dialect? What is the big deal? Well, folks, the big deal is we have to preserve it, we have to educate, and we have to create awareness about this Metis dialect. We cannot allow this dialect to become extinct. We must preserve it for our future generations, our children. And Bungi is also considered one of the three contact languages, along with Michif and Chinook Jargon. So that's very important. And close your eyes, if you would, for a moment. And this is going to bring back warm childhood memories for me growing up in Selkirk, Manitoba. And listen to a Bungi speaker, and you may think, after hearing them, that they just arrived from Scotland, yet you may be shocked and you may be surprised to know that they are a fourth generation Indigenous Métis person. And Bungi, the Red River dialect, truly remains a very intimate part of our Métis culture and our Métis history. And let's get right into a historical note. The term Bungi first occurs in the York Factory Journals in the year 1741 in a reference to the various bands of Indians visiting the fort and cited by Stobie 1978-74. Other mentions include the following letter from James Ism at York Factory dated August 26th, 1759, and I quote, 7 canoes of Severn Indians came on the 29th of May, brought but 37 made beaver, and 10 canoes of Bungi Indians, which is near the said river, but a great distance up, end of quote, and cited after Stobie 1968-66. Also, a Bungi Soto connection is made in a letter from Sturgeon River Fort in 1779, and I quote, this goes to inform you of 5 Indians that arrived here last night, 3 natives of the land, and 2 Bungis or Soto belonging to the Caribou's Head, end of quote, of course cited after Rich 1952. Whatever its origins, folks, whatever the origins, it appears that the term Bungi applied originally to the Soto Indians living near the settlement. And Margaret Stobie, 1968-69, notes that with the influx of Swampy Cree into the area from Norway House in the 1840s, the term seems to have really been broadened to include all Indians in and around the settlement. And by the turn of the century, folks, and this is where my passion comes in, the turn of the century, the term also included the English Cree dialect of all the old fur trade families in the Red River settlements. And Margaret Stobie really supported these conjectures by noting that in 1937, when Osborne Scott's radio talk was published in the Winnipeg Tribune, there really was a flurry of letters sent by people to the editor, from people to whom the sense of the word bungee had long been familiar to them, and cited, of course, by Stobie 1968-69. So, folks, let's talk bungee, the Red River dialect. To me, my favorite part of the show is really getting in and speaking the Red River dialect. You may recall from a past episode the surname, the last name of Kipling. And here we're going to be hearing from a Mrs. A. Kipling who on January 7th, 1938, she really felt strongly, she really had a passion that Osborne Scott had really belittled and insulted the Bungi speakers of the Red River. And here are some of her thoughts on the matter, and just a little word of caution. She's very strong, she's very confident, and she's very passionate in what she has to say in regards to the Bungi speakers of the Red River. And here I quote, "Ah, my fare ye Osborne Scott, ye soul be properly ashamed of yourself, ye dirty trass, insulting decent people from the river, sut like as if ye aren't all yourself in your English soles and seckered suit, and like as if ye never saw a brine yourself or sloped a lantern. Perhaps even you think you're smart like a stupid ass, but when you starts on Sunday, you'll see the people who'll be mocking at ye, and you'll be wishing ye could go in hindsight foremost, like as if you were in stepped already." End of quote. And you can hear the passion, you can hear how firm she is. But really, folks, in fact, Osborne and likely Mr. J.J. Moncrief were saddened by the vanishing of Bungi, and their children would not know the accents and the dialect. And Osborne Scott, in the Winnipeg Evening Tribune, recounts a discussion that he has overheard, and I quote, "I overheard this in our kitchen. The servant next door had come over to visit. 'Sit down, girl Mary, you'll see I'll make a cup at tea.' 'Oh, Liza girl, I'll not can. I'm got to get 'ome. Keem getting 'ome. Sit down, take off your shawl, and I'll put on kettle.' 'Oh, Liza, I'll not can. I'm got Jane Mary's bodice on, and it'll I'll not can meet." End of quote. And from old timer J.J. Moncrief, Winnipeg Evening Tribute, here's some of what he had to say, and I quote, "The piece we were all on started right away for the opposite side of the lake, away for Balsam Bay. We put of sails, blankets, and buffalo robs to help us get there quicker like. When we hit the shore, we drove right off the ice. One of the bays went chimook. We got him out all right. We drove up to Selkirk on the cross side and crossed the river right at the gutway above St. Peter's Church. Oh, yes, by we got all right. We had to swim our horses. There was nothing in the pepper about it whatever. We all had quite a fun about it at the dance that night. P.S. I thought this would interest you in your old age by so long by end of quote. So that was three texts in regards to Bungi, the Red River dialect. And here are some of the words that we used in today's segment. Writ is right. Robs is robes. Rope is drove. Boys is boys. Selkirk is Selkirk. Church is church. Horses, horses. Pepper is paper. Sore is shore. Shimuk means splashing sound made when something is dropped in the water. Sluked is put out a fire or flame. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed our third segment of the Bungi Beat. Very exciting to bring digestible forms, always a little bit of history of Bungi, the Red River dialect, and then we get right into some Bungi. It's very important to hear the dialect. And of course, this brings back many memories of me personally hearing the dialect growing up in Selkirk, Manitoba. So, folks, I'm well, you but until next time, take care